Hey everybody, hope you guys are going to have a blessed Easter. I know today is Good Friday, I'm working, this is a lunch break, so I'm just going to do a quick video, maybe 5-10 minutes if that. So I was kind of watching the news, and I know this is around Easter time is where a lot of people do, we used to call them the services where you would see what they call those times a year where people go to church. Most of them wasn't Christian. They said it was Christian, but they wasn't. Or, it was Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas, Easter, what I call the show up holidays. But right now, during this critical time, you've got some ministers who are, and maybe they are being led by the Lord. I don't know. I got question marks. But they are still trying to have their congregations come together in some cases in the midst of this saga we have going on. In times of plague and so forth, God gave some rules. And like I said, we can go look at Exodus, and where he told them basically to do this, that, and the other thing, and then mark the blood on the doorpost and get your butt in your house and close the door. What we're doing is nothing new. I mean, as I said, there's nothing new under the sun. And I'm sure there were those people, which we know there were, who didn't think anything of what God was warning them was coming. And they decided to keep on doing what they're doing. And unfortunately, the firstborns are dead. God don't play. When he tells you to do something, he's telling you to do it. The issue that has happened is that you've got ministers who believe that church has to be served in that building that they probably have loans for. ASAL, they have bills for. C, it's their job, so they can want a paycheck. I'm going to go here. And then we have people who go to church, and because they don't know their word, or they don't read their word, or they only listen to what some person tells them out of a pulpit as authoritarian, and not being led by God to know what's right and what's wrong and getting in his word. So I'm going to tell y'all a quick story, and it's in Matthew, and it should be, if I remember, I think she's actually John, chapter 4. It's about the woman at the well, okay? And let me see, think I got it up here. All right, it should be chapter 4, and if you go down, let's see here. Go down to verse 19 all the way to 26. I'm going to go ahead and read it to y'all real quick. And this is the woman at the well, one of my favorite stories. God showed me some stuff in here. I'm not even going into all the stuff he showed me. This story right here is very powerful for anybody if you understand it. But 4:19 through 26. The woman said to him, "Sir, I perceive that you are a prophet. Our fathers worshipped on this mountain, and you Jews say that in Jerusalem is the place where we ought to worship." Jesus said to her, "Woman, believe me, the hour is coming when you will neither on this mountain nor in Jerusalem worship the Father. You worship what you do not know. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. But the hour is coming, and now is," because he's there, so now is, "when true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father is seeking such to worship him. God is spirit, and those who worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth." The woman said to him, "I know the Messiah is coming, who is called the Christ. When he comes, he will tell us all things." Jesus said to her, "I who speak to you am he." Okay? And this lady becomes like one of our first type of evangelists. We're going to get to that in a minute. I'll get to that another time. The reason I want to bring that up is because a lot of times what we have been raised up to think is going into a church and that's the only place we can worship. This is not true. We are using a medium right now through the internet to have church services, to share information, to have Bible studies, to pray with one another, to encourage one another, to be ministered to minister to. And we can use that because it don't have to be a special place. And while this technology may be used for all sorts of reasons, good, bad, and indifferent, right now I believe the Lord is going to use it in order to reach people who otherwise might not step into a physical building, because they're going to get a wake-up call that something is going on in the world that ain't quite right. And they're going to start questioning, what I call it, the heart prick from the Holy Spirit is happening. And they need to wake the hell up. I'm sorry, I'm going to keep it real. Okay? And this is some wake up stuff we got going on right now. Wake up. We do not have to go into a physical building to worship. While it's nice to go in there and fellowship one with another, and yes, it's something the Lord recommends that we do, it is not the only way we can worship God. It's not the only way that we can grow. So when you have some of these ministers who are trying to get you back into a building, really, God forgive me, for either to be seen of men, maybe they miss God and don't even know their word well enough. Maybe they on their little journey to doing too much. I'm going to tell you, walk in wisdom. And right now in this situation right now, God is doing some stuff. Trust me, I believe he's doing some stuff. But we are not at a time, in my humble opinion, of an antichrist situation where you just putting your feet in the sand and we're going to get together and pray and go through whatever we got to go through. This is not that yet. We're not far from it, but this ain't that yet. What this is right now, though, is time for us to get our personal houses in order. And in order to do that, we got to worship him in spirit and truth. So we need to be truthful to him about some of our situations. And we also need to understand we can worship in this house and have church in this house. Church, by all intents and purposes, is not a physical building. The church is a group of believers that can extend in America beyond the denominational line. You could go to a Baptist church, you could go to a Pentecostal church, you could go to a non-denominational church. But at the end of the day, when we all get home to see him, we will be the church. The church is a group of believers that extends beyond St. Matthew's Baptist Church that you might belong to. It's a group of us. It's not just one of us. The Catholic sister who believes, reads her word, and knows that Jesus is who she goes through to confess her sins and get forgiven. She prays for folks. She might be Catholic, but that's what she does. The holiness sister, brother, whoever it might be, the church is the people who believe, who faithfully believe, understand, read this word, and try to incorporate the walk as best they can through that narrow gate that Christ mentioned to us. So we don't have to go into whatever Jerusalem it is. If Jerusalem is ABC Baptist Church, COD, Word of Faith, non-denominational, evangelical, Methodist, Episcopal, from your house, if it ain't but you and the Lord, that's church. You can have service. So what I want to share with you today is please use wisdom in who you're listening to. In order to love our brother as ourselves, we need to ask the question. I know we're supposed to be doing what would Jesus do? I'm going to ask you, if one of the great commands he gave me was to love my neighbor as myself, before I step out my house, I need to think, what would Jesus do? There's a point in the Old Testament where he told them to lock themselves in a house, close the door, and take some steps. Right now, you might be saving somebody. We all have an appointed time, and if you're just so cold-hearted that you just want to see folks sick and be belligerent, then you may have some conversations with the Lord. Because the question is, would you want that for yourself? I'm just saying. So guys, I want you to contemplate that we don't have to worship God in the building up the street that they call Church XYZ. I can sit right here in this room right now and worship the Lord. I can pray. My Bible is sitting right under this phone. I can pull that out and read, spend time with him, sing songs to him, listen to worship music, have my own private dance up in here with me and the Lord, just like David did. Wouldn't that still be having what we call church when we are the church, those people who believe. So I challenge you, for those of you, if you go into churches where they're telling you to come and gather at your house and find you a service online to watch, okay? If you ain't got a good service to watch, put some worship music on, have your own service, and open up that book and eat of him, because that's really what we're doing, partake of him, and find out that the Lord is good. And grow in him so that you can then share him effectively. Pray over people in power. Speak with authority and compassion. And reach those who needed to be reached while you being born here to do the things that God placed you here to do. You don't have to go in a building, be belligerent, and go and try to spread this mess to other folks. There's another way in which we can handle this situation. So I'm going to tell y'all, please walk in wisdom. Anyway, I didn't want the video to be long. I hope you all have a blessed Easter. I'm still going to be doing the Bible study on Hosea. What I'm doing right now, I got a desk coming. I can kind of spread out and get my studying on. Once I have that set up, I'll do official announcement. But again, please be blessed, be safe, follow the necessary guidelines. And don't forget, the church is not the building you go to. The church is you, as long as you are a believer in Christ. And you can worship him. What did he say? Woman, believe me, the hour is coming when you will neither on this mountain nor in Jerusalem worship the Father. You worship what you do not know. See, that's the problem. Some of us don't know him, so we don't know that we can worship anywhere. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. But the hour is coming, and now is, when the true worshipers will worship him. God is spirit, and those who worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. We haven't seen him. So by faith, I believe in him, so I can worship him anywhere in spirit and in truth. That's what this is about right now. Is a lot of us are getting a long time to have some truthful moments in worship, and him to also connect with us and tell us how to get our houses in order and get prepared for the things coming next. Y'all, I want you to be blessed. 2 and 2 means peace and peace. God bless you, and have a good evening.